The authoritative American foreign policy magazine Foreign Affairs reported that the Pope had finally sided with Russia in the conflict with Western countries. The American magazine referred to the opinion of the advisor to former U.S. President Donald Trump, Fiona Hill, as well as Georgetown University professor Angela Stent. In their opinion, Francis supported the position of the Russian authorities that our country is not the initiator of a military conflict in Eastern Europe, but is forced to respond to the aggressive actions of the United States and European countries, seeking to weaken Russia in order to maintain world domination. For this reason, Francis is actively urging Western leaders to stop their belligerent speech, the supply of weapons and ammunition, and sit down with Russia at the negotiating table. Especially given the readiness for these steps on the part of Moscow. The very fact of the categorical refusal of Western officials to conduct any negotiations with Russia, according to the Pope, clearly shows who is really interested in continuing hostilities, and who is in favor of stopping them. I note that another oldest American political magazine, The Atlantic, which has been published since 1857, adheres to a similar point of view. At the same time, the observer of this magazine explains the reasons for the distance of the head of the Catholic Church from Western politicians towards Russia. This metamorphosis is explained by demographic reasons. If, as of 1900, there were only 267 million Catholics in the world, 75% of whom or under 200 million people lived in Europe and North America, then by now the number of supporters of the Catholic Church exceeds 1.2 billion people, of which the United States and the EU live only 350 million. The vast majority of Catholics, 70% of their total number, now live on other continents, primarily in Latin America, which are moving further and further away from the United States and are in favor of strengthening cooperation with Russia and China. The Pope of Rome cannot ignore the interests of the vast majority of supporters of the Catholic faith. At the same time, according to scientists' forecasts, by 2025 only 20% of Catholics in the world will be representatives of the Caucasian and English-speaking races. As a matter of fact, Francis himself became the first in the history of the Catholic Church its head, who was born not in Europe, but in Argentina.